In this video, we're going to look at solving quadratic equations. Okay, the first type is where you've got two terms just. So we have like the type like ax squared plus c is equal to 0. So in this one, all you would do is you would bring you'd say we have 2x squared is equal to 8. Then x squared is equal to 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Then x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 4, which in this case, x is equal to plus 2. Or x is equal to minus 2. Okay, second example, similar type of example, I'm going to do it a different way, but I'm going to use the difference of two squares here. So remember the identity, x squared minus y squared is equal to x minus y upon x plus y. That's what we're going to employ here. So 4x squared, the square root of 4x squared is 2x, the square root of 9 is 3. So there's the terms that go in your brackets. And you just do one, make one a minus and make one a plus. So you have 2x minus 3 and 2x plus 3. We're now in this lovely state of mathematics where you've got your a times b something times something else is equal to 0. And that only happens when either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. So we'll get rid of all that and we'll put that into practice here. So that means either 2x minus 3 is equal to 0 or 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, which means 2x is equal to positive 3, which means x is equal to 3 divided by 2, which is just 1.5, or over here, 2x is equal to negative 3, which means x is equal to negative 3 divided by 2, which is minus 1.5. Second type of equation we have is where you have got ax squared plus bx equals 0, and you can take out a common factor. So in this one, it says solve 3x squared minus 9x. I'm just going to pull out a 3x, leaving me with x minus 3 inside. And again, we're in this lovely form stage of mathematics where you've got a times b is equal to 0. So put your a equal to 0 and your b equal to 0. So your a in this case is 3x. So 3x equals 0, which follows on to mean x itself is 0. Or x minus 3 is equal to 0, which means x is just equal to 3. Next type of one is where we have to factorize using our sum and product. Now, this is a fairly easy one when it's in this form. So your sum is just equal to the number, the coefficient of the x term. So in this case, it's 6, and it's positive 6. And your product is the coefficient of x squared times the numerical term. So 1 in this case times minus 7. So your product p is equal to minus 7. So you have to find two numbers which multiply to give minus 7. So their product is minus 7, and they add to give 6. So their sum is 6. So how you do that is you go through minus 7 and all the different products that give you minus 7. So I can have minus 1. I'll not start with minus 1. That would have been it straight away. I will start with, minus 7 times 1. And minus 7 times 1 doesn't work. And I'll try but if you add minus 7 and 1, you get minus 6, so almost. So I'll just change that to me minus 1 times 7, and that does work. So that tells me how I rewrite it. X squared minus x plus 7x minus 7 is equal to 0, which means x upon x minus 1 plus 7 upon x minus 1 is equal to 0. So again, you factorize, you write down your common bracket and then you put what's in front of it. So there was a x in front of it and there was a plus 7. So that's what goes in your next bracket. So x minus 1 upon x minus 7 equals 0. And then I'll just move across here a wee bit. That means x minus 1 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to 1. Or you could have had x plus 7 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to minus 7. Okay, next one again is sum and product we can use. So our sum is 10, our product is minus 24. So we're looking for two numbers such that they add to give 10 and they multiply to give minus 24. So you go through your minus 24 is equal to, and the negative product means one must be positive, one must be negative. So we'll go for minus 1 times 24, that doesn't work. Minus 2 times 12, and that does work. So we found our two numbers. So we say that's 3x squared minus 2x plus 12x minus 8 is equal to 0. And then you factorize. So x comes out of the first two terms, leaving you 3x minus 2 Factorize the next two terms. 4 comes out, leaving you 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So that's 3x minus 2 upon x plus 4 is equal to 0. So put the first bracket equals 0, you have 3x minus 2 equals 0, which means 3x equals 2, which then goes on to mean x is equal to 2/3. Then x plus 4 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to minus 4. Okay, so you could also be asked to form an equation given the roots. So form an equation whose roots are 2 and 3. So if an equation has roots which are 2 and 3, that means the factors of that equation are x minus 2 and x minus 3. So put those equal to 0, and then you could just multiply that out to find the actual equation. So it's going to be x squared minus 5x plus 6. When you multiply that out, equals 0. Same idea. In this example, the roots now are 4 over 5 and minus 2. So just write x minus 4 over 5 upon x minus 2, which is x plus 2, is equal to 0. Multiplied, you're going to have x squared, and that will be plus 2x minus 4 over 5x, and then that's going to be minus 8 over 5 is equal to 0. I will tidy that up, and that is going to give me, and that's going to give me x squared plus 6 over 5x minus 8 over 5 is equal to 0. That's a bit of a mess. What you could do is times everything by 5 and give you 5x squared plus 6x minus 8 is equal to 0. A much nicer looking equation.